All right, folks, wanted to go over a couple questions on this new review sheet. I'm going to collect this in a couple of days. There's some stuff on here that's review regarding slope, steepness, and finding the rate of change in equations, all the things we've been doing. And there's some a few new things on here too that will not be in the quiz, but I do want you to start thinking about them a little bit. So I want to go over a couple examples with the newer stuff. So the first questions say, write the following in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. You'll notice that these equations are not in that form yet, so you have to solve for y. So think about how we solve equations. We have to isolate a variable by using inverse operations. So the first thing we have to do is get rid of this 4x. We have to move it to the other side of the equation first. So then that would be negative 3y equals negative 4x plus 18. Y is not by itself yet. We've got to divide by negative 3 to get it by itself. So I'm running out of space here, but I'll come up here to finish. If I do that, it's y equals negative 4 over negative 3. That's positive 4/3, because a negative over a negative is a positive. So positive 4/3 x. And then 18 divided by negative 3. So I'm doing this division both by negative 3. So that's going to be negative 6. So there's my equation. That's what would go in the equation box. Your m is 4/3. Your b is negative 6. So when you get to this question here at the bottom of that page, page 5, it says, put the following linear functions in order from steepest to least steep. I like this question, steepest to least steep. So we want the highest slope to the lowest slope. Now keep in mind, negative slopes can also be very steep. You have to think about the absolute value of the m value of the equation to determine the steepness. So before you can really determine that, though, you have to solve each of those equations for y so that you can have them in slope-intercept form. So you'll notice A, B, and D are already solved for y, but these ones, C and E, are not solved for y. So you would have to solve those for y first before you could answer this question. Now, to solve that one for y, you just subtract x from both sides, which would give you y equals negative x plus 3, and that one's done. The slope's negative 1 for that equation. For this one, you'd have to subtract 10x from both sides. Negative 2y equals negative 10x minus 2, divide by negative 2. Y equals 5x plus 1, because negative divided by negative is a positive. So now that they're all solved for y, now you can put them in order from steepest to least steep. Most everything on pages 2 and 3 is all review from things we've done in the past, looking at tables and equations and just kind of comparing. Those are things that I think you should be relatively comfortable with. I do want to do one more example of getting an equation and solving for b for something like number 20, which is the last question in the packet. So let's take a look at that one. Here's the 2 points. Got to find the slope, change in y over change in x. So that's 14 minus 2 over 3 minus a negative 1. That gives you 12 over, this is plus, so this becomes 4. The slope's 3. Okay, now I'm going to choose one of the points. So I will choose this point right here, and I'm going to plug into y equals mx plus b to solve for b. So in this case, 3 is my x, 14 is my y. So 14 equals m, which is 3, times x, which is also 3, plus b. So 14 equals 9 plus b. Subtract 9 from both sides, and b equals 5. So my equation then is y equals 3x plus 5, because the m is 3. That is right here. The m is 3, and the b was 5. So I'm just taking those, and I'm substituting them in for m and for b into my final equation. So there is my final answer.